Hey, happy day. There was a man. He was walking along the beach and he saw an old rusty bottle and he rubbed it and out popped a genie. And the genie said, "Hey, howdy, you got one wish." The guy thought for a minute and he says, "I wish I could live forever." And the genie said, "Hey, I'm not able to give you that wish. Sorry about that. That's one of the only ones that we're not allowed to give out." "Well then," he says, "I tell you what, my wish is this." He says, "Make me live up until the Liberals balance the budget and get rid of all of the debt." The genie looked at him and said, "Hey, you little scamp. Hey, there was a really good movie, video maybe, at the end of this program today. It's about a minute long. It's about Democrats and you all should watch it. It's kind of good and I'm here to give you education." So there. You know, recently I had a situation with a family member who was in the hospital, and subsequent to being in the hospital, she actually passed away. But the experience was something. I mean, there was no nursing care. And we said, "Hey, there's no nurses here. And the ones that are here, they're treating her very badly." And I understand that because they're overworked, underpaid, and they're so busy. You know what the answer was? COVID. I said, "COVID? What does that mean?" They said, "Well, there's been an outbreak of COVID, so the nurses don't come to work. They're working from home." And I said, "So what do we do? Ship the patients to their homes?" I mean, come on, they're nurses, they're doctors. Don't they work with sick people? A hospital, isn't it a place where diseases kind of come to rest? I mean, COVID is just another thing, isn't it? I mean, don't you have to treat people? No, we can't do that because people, the union says, and they went on. And you know what? I thought, wow, it's come to this, huh? Who knew? Boy, oh boy. Do you need some political reinforcement? I think maybe all of us do from time to time because typically we're nice people. We think the best in people, or try to at least. So let me reinforce your opinions of liberals, okay? California governor recently signed this bill that claims to equalize laws for heterosexual pedophiles and apply them to gay pedophiles. This is a tough one to follow, so, you know, kind of go slow and watch his show 2 or 3 times and let it sink in. And then Google the news. Go to the LAtimes.com and, you know, try to sort this out because this is a big one. I mean, it's just another big one. When you add them all up, you have huge screw-ups in the state from a liberal. And you can go to any state or province and find the same thing when the liberal's in charge. This Senate bill is 145 is the number, and it removes the requirements for adults having sex with children with a 10-year age gap. They no longer have to register as a sex offender. Law applies to children as young as 14. So if you're a 24-year-old weirdo, you can take out a child, a 14-year-old child, and you can do what you do because you're a sicko, and it's okay. You do not get registered as a sex offender. This bill allows gays to have sex with children. If there's a 10-year age difference between the predator and the child, because the governor says this evens up the score between gays and straights. Oh boy. Trump and Biden, they have starkly different messages on everything, but of course a recent example was in Los Angeles when 2 deputies were ambushed, and the mayor called it awful, of course, but let's have gun control. Biden, back to him, he said the same thing, let's have gun control. Okay, here's what Trump said. "We want swift justice and shooting of ambushed deputies and the manhunt intensifies, and we want them hung." He didn't say hung. I think he said capital punishment. That's a little extra wordage there. But those are the differences. I mean, let's deal with the situation and let's go after the people who didn't do it. That would be gun control. Wow. And then you swing over to Canada. You have a prime mistake there who is just a whack, right? And the people continue to allow him, I guess, or maybe he allows them to have him. I don't know. The wordage is kind of weird on that, but here it is. I mean, he admitted to smoking pot when he was a member of parliament when it was illegal, so of course he's a felon right away, and yet he's the prime mistake of the country, okay? You know, his brother also got off on drug charges because of the influence of the family. He's been groping women, and he got off on that. And when politicians, businessmen, actors, and many others actually lost their jobs because of inappropriate, handling of women, the prime mistake says, "I didn't realize she was a reporter, so that makes it okay." It's okay to grope a woman you think is, a little hussy or something, I guess. You know what? There's allegations of sexual misconduct to others. They lose their jobs, as I said, and they actually go to jail, and they certainly get disgraced. And this guy seems to go up a point or two. He wanted the SNC Lavalin to be above the law. and I guess it is, because they're now, doing more work for the government, hundreds of millions of dollars coming in with regards to contracts, and they had I think it was a $280 million fine for doing inappropriate things. He himself, the prime mistake, was cited for doing inappropriate behavior, and he accepts gifts from people, and he's just not accountable. And then you have this WE scandal. I mean, there's a list that's just too long to even talk about. I mean, wow, there should be some equality. This is a guy who says let's all be equal except for me. That's the Canadian socialist definition, right? And then, of course, more liberal stuff if you need it. If you really need to, if you had a moment when you thought they were okay, get past it, okay? Canada recently announced that they spent $147 million on a public health surveillance system that is not being used during the COVID pandemic. You get it? I mean, there's a list that would be longer than a bus back and forth and around if the bus was driving fast. I mean, these people are, they're dishonest people, and they lead your country. All of you Canadians, get them in on that. Get rid of these people. Here's the video. Democrats, watch this. It's kind of cool.
Are you sick and tired of your calm, peaceful life? Are you sleeping too well at night? Is your city too safe? Well, not anymore. Introducing Democrats. Politicians so incompetent, they'll fill your neighborhood with riots, looting, rampant violence, and even homelessness. The secret is a special blend of corruption and good old-fashioned stupidity. No more pesky law and order. When Democrats are in charge, nobody's safe. Simply vote for Democrats, sit back, and watch your neighborhood burn to the ground. But wait, vote for Democrats now, and they'll include rolling blackouts, election fraud, cancel culture, taxes, and more taxes. Democrats, bringing chaos right to your front door.
Kind of sums it up, doesn't it? Chokes me up, sums it up. Y'all come back tomorrow. We'll have more for you from the right. See ya.